Hi, everybody. It's your favorite day of the week as we welcome you back to Ask the Trade Pros, a show where a couple of trade guys talk about all kinds of stuff, but especially trade stuff. We're here to answer your questions about your HVAC, electrical, plumbing, and any other home system so that you can keep your home running smoothly. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Todd. Today's episode's going to be a little different than usual. Today, Jordan and I are actually not the trade pros on this one because we have Ron from Tucson Grill Cleaning with us. Welcome, Ron. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Well, thank you very much, Todd. Very nice to be here. Thanks for the invite. Wanted to say thank you in particular to Rachel for running the show, Todd and Jordan for the invite, all of our good friends and pros at the #1 plumbing et al. Company, Done Right Services. Thanks for having me, guys. So, yeah, my name is Ron Beaton. I'm the proprietor of Tucson Grill Cleaning, LLC. We've been around for just over 11 years. Mainly what we do is clean, repair, and professionally install barbecue grills for commercial and residential clients. We've also started, because it's become a very popular issue, pack rat mitigation, which we'll get into, I'm sure, a little later on in the cast.
Okay, well, I guess we'll get into it, Ron. You obviously install grills and clean grills. You can't teach me how to use mine, but that's a separate issue. So I had a question. Obviously, consumers don't know much about this. You do professional grill cleaning. They need a lot of help with it. I've seen grills that obviously you just leave everything on there. You don't clean them. What kind of buildup is normal for a grill?
Well, it really depends upon usage. You know, some folks use it once a month. Some people, twice a day. And so it really runs the gamut. We're actually on site this morning, my technician, Greg, who is cleaning a Kalamazoo grill. I don't know if you've ever heard of that brand, but that's like #1 and probably a $50,000 piece of equipment.
Wow.
And and this is his second day there, right? We had to dedicate 2 days because it's pretty big, but it is just super high quality. And like any project, we want to make sure that it's done right. And so the buildup for this client's Kalamazoo was pretty substantial. He does, if you have a $50,000 piece of equipment, I'm sure you're going to use it as much as possible, right? And what we found is that folks who, purchase these higher end grills do use them more. They can get dirtier. So this one in particular, Greg was showing me the buildup on and just underneath the grill grates was 1/4 inch thick.
Is that called flavor?
Well, it depends. If those pack rats get in there, then sure, they've got their own dinner waiting for them. So to answer your question, it really does vary. And so it's suggested that because people we find who have these nicer grills, they want to take care of them, right? You're going to spend a lot of money. Well, the best thing to do to make sure that they're maintained long term is to get them cleaned, get them maintenanced.
What is the cleaning process? Is it steam? Is it just wire brush? Can you walk the listeners through a little bit of that process, or is there multiple process depending on the grill or the grate style? Or
Yeah, no, actually, it's a fantastic question, and it really does vary. My guys go through a rigorous training, and there are numerous ways that they take care of whatever's before them, right? So we do an assessment as soon as we get to the property to gather as much information to give us the opportunity to discern how to go best about it. Thankfully, we have at our disposal, we have a trailer, and in that custom trailer is a custom dip tank. And this stainless steel contraption is basically like a big old tub. And it's part of our secret sauce. Once we get to the property, we do our little assessment. We take the innards, the grill grates, the flavorizers, burners sometimes, and we'll put them in this superheated solution that is propane-powered hot water, getting that boiling or close to it using an environmentally friendly degreasing solution. That's kind of like the main part, how we're able to get those main parts of the grill pristine and in good working order, ready for that next grill session. But we do use brushes, we do use power tools, we do use different solutions that help with the elbow grease. And so we apply different agents that help to take care of that buildup, making it easier for when we are doing the final stages of the cleaning with a wipe down. And then, of course, there's a fantastic polish that we found a few years ago that's secret. People ask us for it. We don't give that out. It's proprietary and it's very expensive, but it is something that people remark about. There's a variance of, what's employed to just make sure the job's done right. Done right.
So I'm loving this big tank thing you guys got, right? The secret sauce to clean it in. While you're talking, Ron, I was going like, what else in my house can I shove in that tank? But is there a difference, to follow up a little bit on Todd's question, is there a difference on the type of device on what you do? Obviously, you put them all in the tank, but I know, you have propane grills, you have smokers, you have charcoal grills, other kinds of equipment, commercial
gas.
Equipment. Can you do all the same techniques, or do people have to be aware of the type of device they have as to what kind of cleaning they're going to need?
Yeah, no, that's a good question as well. Jordan, thanks for asking that. I'll just point to this morning. Part of our client this morning's outfit, they have a smoker and they have a charcoal unit, right? It's good to be the king. Have all of this at your disposal, right?
Can we go eat there?
Yeah, I'm getting hungry just talking about this. So perhaps I do have his address. But yeah, that kind of runs the gamut as well. We do use shop vac as well to remove the refuse that we've scraped. Usually ends up at the bottom, and we want to make sure that that's clear and clean for making sure that the grill is operating optimally. So yeah, I'd say similar to, again, the guys have so many things in their trailer and in their toolkit, if you will, that no matter what it is before us, we can get it right. Even when it comes to repairs as well, right? People are like, oh my God, what about this? What about that? We've seen pretty much everything under the sun. And so we're here to help. We're here to support for folks who have any of these kind of issues or particular types of grills.
Grill cleaning on the next level, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's a whole nother step up. I love this, Ron. This is great. Makes me feel bad that all I do is pressure wash mine. So
I don't even do that. I just scrape it and start cooking. I had no clue about any of this.
Well, don't feel bad. Most people, it's very similar. But when it starts to get really icky, gunky, and if you start to see remnants from rodents that are
just throw those rodents on the grill, right?
Oh well, you know what? We've found we've had live ones, big fat live ones, jump out at us. We've had mamas with little babies underneath in the cabinet.
Wow.
Smoking a cigarette after their meal, and all of the above. But there will come a time in most people's grill life where instead of trying to scrape and do your thing that's minimal, because we've had people who take their grill grates out and they put them in big old garbage bags with Dawn dish detergent, and it's actually fairly effective, right? It's time consuming, it's dirty, but that's where we come in, especially if folks are anxious about any of the operational aspects of the grill. We can provide guidance on how to use them right. There's people that, understandably, some of these are like really fancy.
Do you teach
digital?
You teach cooking lessons too, or grilling lessons?
No. But pretty much anything and everything else grill related, we're here and can provide the best support.
So I imagine that this helps restore some of those built-in grills. If you have a built-in grill in your backyard and you're thinking it needs to be replaced, a lot of times it just needs to be serviced by your guys over there at Tucson Grill Cleaning, huh, Ron?
Yeah. No, we're so blessed. We're fortunate that we've had such great customers over the years who thankfully provide a lot of good feedback. And a big reason is because we do offer all of these services. The installation that you're alluding to, we don't sell. Right? What we do is we provide great information. Here's what you have going on. Here's what we can do. Here's what we can't do, which is very little. If an opinion is asked, we try and just give them straight up. Here's what I would do or what we think should do based upon our years of experience. And so there are times when people say, you know what? I think it's time. I don't want to spend X on fixing it up when for another X I can get brand new. And you guys do that? Oh yeah, we actually have at headquarters probably 35 units that are ready to rock and roll. So if we're on property and somebody says, you know what, I want to install today. Do you have something that might fit this cutout? Absolutely. Or if we don't, we order it, and invariably within 4 business days. Usually less. Our distributors in Phoenix are fantastic. We can get that taken care of pretty quickly.
So I have a question for you, kind of off of the grill cleaning topic, but regarding grills. So you have charcoal, you have natural gas, you have propane, you have stainless steel grates, you have cast grates. What do you recommend, in this business for so long? Is one particular better than the other, stainless steel versus cast? Can you touch on that a little bit? Because I myself am curious.
Yeah, no, it's actually owner preference. Oftentimes it's just whatever came with the grill, right? And so it looked pretty in the storefront or online or wherever you got it. You read the specs and it was a grill that has cast iron, right? Which is a little bit more difficult to take care of. It's just like the cast iron skillet you have in your home, right? There's a specific process is really the same with those. So a lot of people swear by them. I like cooking on them too, but the maintenance is a little tougher, right? Because, after the scraping, the scrubbing, the soaking, what have you, sometimes it'll come out looking rusted, right? But what fixes that is avocado oil. We suggest that people use that to slather on there or any of the other type of grates for obvious reasons, right? So it makes the food easier to come up. But avocado oil we recommend, or pistachio if you don't have a nut allergy. These are oils that have a much higher burn rate. So for instance, if you put like canola oil on there, you're gonna have a lot of smoke once you get that grill up to a decent temperature. Whereas the others, you don't. So that's a nice little secret. Hopefully you find helpful and hopefully helps answer that question. But it's really to each their own. Most grills that are of quality have 304 stainless, just will last you a lifetime, right? Or 20-ish years, which is usually
we clean it,
right? if you clean it, right? If not, it might last you 2 months. What I'm getting at. So hopefully that answers that question.
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head. That was good information.
I'm thinking we should have brought in a bunch of samples of how these grills taste after they've been cleaned.
Oh, man. I should have my burnt ends from last night. I think I still might have some. But that's a little
maybe
far
that's
away.
The next episode. We'll actually taste the food and cook some food.
We'll test the grills after they've cleaned them.
Yeah.
To make sure that they're working properly.
Well, yeah, invite me back and we'll see what we can do. We'll have some beers with that too, right?
Yeah.
I got a question for you,
Yeah.
Ron. So we do plumbing, electrical, AC all the time. We've talked on previous episodes about memberships, about routine maintenance, all the things you should do to help keep everything smoothly running. Now, on your grill, obviously there's a seasonal aspect to it, but is there a maintenance program, or is there something like, say, should people call it should be yearly? Should it be every couple years? Is it just based on the wear on the grill? Like, how do they decide how often they should be calling for a good cleaning? A professional cleaning, not my pressure washer cleaning.
Well, it depends. If you do s'mores and marshmallows and chocolate on that thing, probably every month, right? But no, seriously, again, it really kind of depends. We have customers who want it done quarterly, right? We have customers who want it done every 6 months. The core of our clients really want it once a year, and they expect that you have it on the calendar and boom, you just arrive a year later, right? When it comes to our commercial clients, mostly commercial would be our apartment complexes. The condo managers oftentimes get in touch with us, HOA execs, and they want regular cleaning, right? And it's for good reason. The high use, things get damaged so much easier. So we do recommend at least 6 months. There are certain places that you can get away with a year, but to keep it humming right, and making sure that your tenants are happy, like they're paying a lot. You know how much rent is nowadays,
so
right?
You have a secret list of places we should not be grilling our food at, right?
I'll be sure to, after this podcast is over, give you an earful.
So, Ron, you mentioned earlier pack rats. You want to touch a little bit on the pack rat problem in grilling?
I don't think he wants
Nobody
to touch
wants
pack
to
rats.
touch pack rats, Todd. Come on, man. That's why, look, it's unfortunate that this problem exists in this part of the world, right? But it exists everywhere. I don't care how rich you are, what part of town, it affects everybody. They are everywhere. And so when we talked earlier about our pack rat mitigation component, what that entails typically is a kind of a steel mesh that we put in place for those areas that the little critters could get in, with an understanding no one can promise with 100% certainty. There's no 100% guarantee that these little critters are not going to get in there, right? Doesn't matter what you do, because they're tricky. So if somebody's telling you that, they're lying to you. But this is a mitigation effort, right? It's one of the defense mechanisms for grill owners to keep these crazy creeps out of there, man. So, I joked earlier about, a little cigarette or whatever, but they chew on the wires, they chew on the valves, they mess with their waste product, as disgusting as that sounds, everywhere in there. I've had different grill owners who tell me, I don't care how you do it, I'm not going to grill on this until you guys sanitize the whole machine, understandably, right? The other part of that is we have ultrasonic rodent repellent devices that we install. Typically, it's the bottom of the grill. We like to do 2. 1 should be fine, right? 2 helps, but kind of the, I guess, cure-all, right? What we want to do is just keep them away as best you can, but if they do happen to enter, and if they don't become bothered by the red and the white lights and the ultrasonic sound beeping at them constantly, we have rat zappers, and these are 100% effective. Essentially, you put a little peanut butter, a little cheese in there, they go in, and then so it's not dirty, but you have to check that every day. You have to check that, because imagine you don't check it and it's 2 weeks later, you got more of a problem. So
Send them to the electric chair prior to the cremation, right?
bzz, they actually does make that sound. I've heard it now.
And we found them on electrical wire where they chewed into it and they're just cooked.
Well, listen to this. We've had snake. I mean, you guys probably encountered every kind of wildlife. We're kind of in similar, service business anyway. And so we actually have on one of our social media posts, one of my technicians, Colin, he encountered a snake in the grill. And so he took video, thankfully. I mean, he's not scared of much, right? And he was careful to protect himself as much as he could, right? He ended up somehow coaxing it onto the floor where you put like a bucket on it or like a rock, right? Until, the pros can come out. But probably some good eating if you had some barbecue sauce on it. I'd imagine.
Some avocado oil.
Some avocado oil, right? Yeah, a little salt.
Pistachio, too. Don't forget the pistachio.
So, but yeah, we've had these critters, like I said, jump out at us. We've had, I think you're asking if ever they were like on top or whatever. And we have a picture, again, one of our social media posts, but the rat looks kind of like in this pose, like looked like it was in shock, like, oh my God, you caught me. Well, no, this was a mummified little rat, right? And so, apparently it didn't get enough to eat, or it got caught or something. And in all seriousness, like I said, we've seen it all, right? And we have the equipment, we have the experience, we have the know-how to make sure that, we mitigate that problem as best we can, because, these are disease-ridden critters, right? Remember the hantavirus, that they would purport pre-COVID anyway. I don't know if COVID did a number on them too, but
You don't want bubonic plague and barbecue?
oh heck no. Although probably very charcoaly would be the taste is my best guess.
So, Ron, if our listeners need more help with any of this, how can they find you?
People can go online, TucsonGrillCleaning.com. They can see our updated, newer website that has a pretty picture of me and another couple of technicians with Sheriff Chris Nanos right there dead center. Now, this Sheriff Nanos has not endorsed us. He loves us. And actually, we did an install for him. And so you'll see him with part of the team on the front. But anyway, pricing is available when you contact us. You send pics, you give us a description. We'll try and give ballpark, right? There's also a chance to book online. So folks can just click online. They can see, okay, well, here's what's available over the next couple of weeks. We're blessed to be super busy, especially this time of year. So if you find yourself, man, I don't want to wait a month, then just contact me directly. Get in touch with us via email. You can click on a button to email us or call 520-245-7967. And I usually have some pocket appointments, we call them, where it's kind of in my pocket and I discern who gets what, when, and how. So reach out anytime.
I'll take one of the pocket appointments.
Well, we actually may have one a week from Thursday at 2. So
it's mine.
I looked there.
I need my grill ready.
Well, it depends on what you got, Todd. We'll see.
Yeah. All right, Ron. It seems that all the questions we have for you today. Thank you very much for showing up. As always, to our loyal and loving listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, then do not forget to subscribe. The information is at the bottom of the podcast.
If you have a home-related question, we probably have an answer. If you have a grill or grill cleaning-related question, I'm sure Ron has the answer for you. You could find him at Tucson Grill Cleaning. Leave us a voicemail or send us an email, and we will answer your question in a future episode. Our information is shown in the notes.
And always, a special thanks to the folks over at Done Right Services for their support and sponsorship of this podcast.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, everyone at the amazing #1 HVAC and plumbing company.
Now you've got to tell everyone to keep listening.
Keep listening to this podcast. It's actually becoming one of the top podcasts on Spotify I've seen. So thanks, guys, and congrats on a great job.
Thank you for joining us.